Happy New Year, everyone. It's the start of a new year, and I thought I would make a new introduction video for my channel. I hope that this year brings me many new followers. Anyway, I'm Jared Pixley, and I am running for President of the United States of America. The election is 3 years away, but I figure I need that much time to get my name out there. I'm just a nobody. I'm not a millionaire or billionaire. I'm not a politician or general. Nobody knows who I am. In fact, at the time of recording this, I only have one follower on Twitter. So I thought I'd just go ahead and introduce myself again to the public. Politically, I feel that I'm a centrist. I lean conservative on certain issues, but liberal on others. I could even be called a Christian liberal. I am a Christian, and thus I believe in helping the sick and poor as Christ says to do in the New Testament. So I would support Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, the ACA, and the VA. All of these things the current administration have worked to defund. As you watch these videos, I will go into more detail about my political beliefs on a variety of issues. Now, as a centrist, I hope that I can be a bridge between the two parties. Over the years, the divide between the right and left has grown. The number of bills in Congress that have had bipartisan support have decreased. A look back shows that in 2025 has been the least productive year for Congress in our generation. They also have had the longest government shutdown in history, even longer than the previous longest shutdown, which was also under Trump. I think that's a very interesting coincidence. As I said before, I'm not a millionaire nor a professional politician. I'm working class, like the majority of Americans. I have a minimum wage job, so I understand what the working class needs. And these are the beliefs and values that I would take to Washington, such as ending Trump's tax cuts for the wealthy. I would also end his tariffs in order to bring down prices. Being on minimum wage, I also understand how important it is to be able to pay for health care. I'm working class, as are my extended family and my friends. I'm not trying to say that I'm biased, but I'm sure you could guess which class I would want to help. My campaign platform has 3 main points. The first is healthcare for all. The U.S. is one of the few first world countries that does not grant healthcare to everyone. Even some third world countries have free healthcare. Insurance companies are for-profit businesses. They want to make money, and their executives earn more money when they refuse to pay for treatments. A significant portion of your health insurance premiums go to pay the CEOs their $100 million salaries. And I have checked, many health insurance CEOs and executives earn over $100 million a year. Point number 2 is to make the rich pay their taxes. If you paid taxes in 2024, you automatically paid more than Amazon and Tesla. 2 of America's wealthiest companies had $0 in income tax last year, or in 2024. Probably last year too, but we won't know for a few more months. And that's whatever the business version of income tax is. I don't work on that side. Trump has given huge tax breaks to the richest 10% of Americans. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that if we end tax cuts, we could generate over $600 billion a year in extra tax revenue. My third and final point is to improve education. The average reading level in the U.S. is at a 4th grade level, and it's slowly dropping according to a recent study. I believe that the biggest threat to democracy is stupidity. By educating our voters, helping them to learn to read and to develop critical thinking skills, I feel that we can protect our country from electing a future president that would destroy our country. One of my biggest campaign promises, which I go into in my book, is that I will not play golf. Trump spent a quarter of his time during his first term, over 360 days while he was president, on the golf course. And this past year, 2025, the first year of his second term, he has gone golfing more than 70 days. And last year has cost American taxpayers, you and me, $110 million. I would save Americans that money by not playing golf, and I would stay in the White House and do my job. Now, I guess one other thing I can tell you about myself is I'm not married. I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 7 years now, and I don't see myself getting married anytime soon. So I'd be one of a few presidents that have gone into the White House without a wife to take over the role of First Lady. And honestly, I wouldn't trust my sisters to be around any people of significant power, other world leaders. I love them, but keep them locked in the basement. So one of my big questions is, who would take over the role as First Lady? And as I discuss in my book, Pixley for President, I got a few people that I would love to invite to take on the role. The fun ones would be Scarlett Johansson or Asa Akira. I can think of a dozen or so different people, but I also have some more serious suggestions. There's some extended family that I think could be trusted that wouldn't embarrass themselves in front of world leaders. So I am filming this video on January 3rd, and this year has already been eventful. I woke up this morning and learned that the CIA and military had captured Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife in their home in Venezuela, and have brought them to the U.S. to stand trial. Indictments have been filed in the Southern District of New York. Even though Trump has claimed all of his attacks, the blowing up of fishing boats, the strikes on Venezuelan soil, were about them smuggling fentanyl into the U.S., the indictments don't mention it. They only mention cocaine. News about this is still coming out, so we don't know the full story. Though in his press conference at Mar-a-Lago today, he did say that the U.S. would be running the country until they appoint a new leader. I'm not sure how the Venezuelans are going to take that news, or how that's actually going to be implemented. But one question I do have is, can the U.S. courts really charge someone who committed crimes, allegedly, when they were outside of our country? Or will the judge just throw the case out because we don't have jurisdiction? I'm hoping that Legal Eagle gets a video out about this soon with more details so we can actually see the picture. The government has refused to put out a job report in a few months. And the talking heads have questioned the truth about the government's end-of-the-year report, which says that we've had higher than average economic growth. Bankruptcies are at a 15-year high. Over 24,000 businesses have filed for bankruptcy, as well as over 500,000 Americans, according to the bankruptcy courts. It's a 10.6% increase over the numbers last year. With this number of bankruptcies, is our economy really that strong? We haven't seen this level of bankruptcies since the Great Recession. I think that's enough to go over for today. Please like and subscribe and support my campaign. Check out my video description. It has links to my book, to my website, which has a donation page if you would like to support my campaign financially. I don't have any millionaire backers, so every $10, $20 that people can contribute is a big help. It also has links to my social media, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Instagram. This year I will try to put out a new video every week to discuss different points of my platform, my takes on current events, what I would do differently, and maybe some fun videos. Just remember, together we can win.